Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and welcome to Stardew Valley. I have played this game on a Twitch stream before, but I haven't played it on YouTube before. It is a game I like. It wasn't a game that I originally wanted to play on YouTube, but I've actually, since ending one of the previous series, tried recording 3 different games that I thought were decent candidates. And all 3 of them I recorded multiple episodes, and then I just kind of wasn't feeling the game or whatever, and just it wasn't holding my interest enough. And this was a game I was really just kind of itching to play some more of. And so I decided we're going to give this a try. So, Stardew Valley is a game that is very popular and it's kind of been done to death. I counted, and there's already more Stardew Valley videos on the internet than there are grains of sand on the beach. And so I thought about like doing like various challenge runs or different kinds of things that would make my run through a little bit different. But those have also kind of been done to death. I was like researching some of them or whatever, and I tried having some of my own clever ideas a while back with Terraria. I did Terraria -2, which was my own clever restrictive challenge, which was pretty fun. But I couldn't come up with one that seemed particularly compelling for Stardew Valley. And furthermore, in the 1.6 update, they added some new features for some kind of like randomization options. So I guess let's just go ahead and go into creating a new game. And if we go into the advanced options, which I think are over here, community center bundles, you can choose remixed. And mine rewards, you can choose remixed. And so basically that means that some of the community center bundles will be different themed bundles than the normal defaults. And some of the mine rewards that you get on the, like level 10, level 20, level 30 kind of things will also be different than their usual defaults. And so that kind of jazzes things up a little bit to make a playthrough a little bit different. I think those are the only options that I'm going to use here in terms of the advanced options, but that'll make things a little bit different. And it's also the case that this game gets periodic updates for the past, I don't know, like decade or whatever that it's been out. I don't know that it's quite that old. But a new update just came out today. And in that update, I'm not one who really likes using mods. I thought about using mods on this game as well because there's tons of mods for all kinds of different things. But in the core game now, there's like a debug command console where you can like spawn in items and cheat yourself different things or whatever. And one of the reasons I didn't want to play this game for YouTube is it's a little bit tedious in a cozy way, but there's still parts of the game that go pretty slow. And so I thought about the parts of the game that I disliked the most, just in terms of the tedium. And so I came up with a small list of cheats that I intend to use that I think are going to make my own playthrough more fun for me. And so I pulled up some notes that I've already written up for myself. So basically, things fall into 3 major baskets. One is inventory management. You may have seen me in a number of games be frustrated with inventory management. And this game starts you out with a very small inventory. You have to buy a large pack and then a deluxe pack at Pierre's in order to upgrade your backpack and the amount of items that you can carry. And the game has chests, and you end up storing things in chests. And the chests don't hold that many items, but then there's a recipe that you can buy for big chests so that you can create larger chests that hold more items. However, at Pierre's, the packs are kind of expensive. They cost 2,000 and then 10,000 gold. And so I've decided I am going to cheat my money to make them cost half that, basically. So I'll be able to buy the large pack for 1,000 instead of 2,000, and I'll be able to buy the deluxe pack for 5,000 instead of 10,000. And then the recipe for the big chests costs 5,000 at Robin's shop, and I'm going to cheat that so it's only going to cost me 1,000 to buy the big chest recipe. I'll still have to use all the materials each time I craft one of those chests. So that's one thing, making the inventory management easier. The second thing is walking around the world is kind of tedious because you start out walking or running or whatever it is that your character does like pretty slowly. It can take like a minute to just like, walk from the farm to the far end of town. And there's upgrades you can get throughout the game when the bookseller comes to town, who sells books that can cause you to run faster. But those books are really expensive. They cost 15,000 and 35,000 respectively. And so I'm going to cheat so that those books cost 10 times less and only cost 1,500 and 3,500 rather than 15,000 and 35,000. And finally, I'm not one for really just kind of like decorating the farm and making things look pretty typically. Um, and one of the reasons, like in this game and in games like Terraria, that I don't do that is because there's always so much to do in the game to just advance the gameplay and manage your resources that spending time and resources making things look pretty oftentimes isn't something that interests me all that much. But if the resources were free, then maybe I would be more likely to do it. So I think I might cheat in some decorative items just to make the farm look a little bit better. One in particular that I like is iron lampposts in this game. Look good and give off light that makes things easier to see, but cost a bit of resources that I'm not typically willing to spend in a normal playthrough. So if there's decorative items I really like, I might cheat them in for free. And those are the cheats that I plan to use. I don't know how long the playthrough is going to go. It's probably going to be many tens of episodes regardless of how I do it. There's a couple of obvious places to kind of like stop playing the game. One is if you finish the community center. I do plan to go the community center route. Another is if you get all the golden walnuts on the island. I don't think I'll go all the way for perfection, but perhaps we'll end up doing that. If we do, I might have some more cheats that I do for getting past the end game tedium, because there's stuff that costs a ridiculous amount of money to get at the very end of the game. But we'll worry about that if we ever come to it. I am enthusiastic about playing this game right now, but I don't know how I'll feel about it months from now when we're much deeper into the game. So we'll cross that bridge if and when the time comes to it. So with that said, let's get started. I'm going to be Dr. Brian. I'm going to be on the Cheats farm. My favorite thing is cookies. I've done some mild character customization, and I'm choosing the forest farm because I like foraging in this game. It's just fun to chop down trees and to pick up things off the ground. So, let's do it. And I actually haven't watched the intro to this game in a while. All right. And for my very special grandson, is this auto-advancing or do I have to click? I can click. Great. I want you to have this sealed envelope. Maybe I don't click. Maybe I just happen to click at the exact moment that it auto-advanced. No, don't open it yet. Have patience. Now listen close. There is music in this game, by the way, but it's very loud in the title screen, so I turned it off. There will come a day when you feel crushed by the burden of modern life. And your bright spirit will fade before a growing emptiness. When that happens, my boy, you'll be ready for this gift. All right, so I guess this is like our dying grandfather bequesting something. Now let Grandpa rest. XX years later. Join us, Thrive. Joja is the corporate entity. People are working in cubicles. Smile, you're with Joja. Terminated. That person looks like a character in a movie to me. Life's better with Joja. And here I am, looking sad. And then, all of a sudden, I think about the moment that Grandpa talked about and the note that I've never opened. And so now I can open it. Dear Dr. Brian, if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. Same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature. so I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. I've enclosed the deed to that place, my pride and joy, Cheat's Farm. It's located in Stardew Valley on the southern coast. It's the perfect place to start your new life. This was my most precious gift of all, and now it's yours. I know you'll honor the family name, my boy. Good luck. Love, Grandpa. P.S. If Lewis is still alive, say hi to the old guy for me, will you? All right. So, if you don't know anything about Stardew Valley, first of all, what rock have you been hiding under? And second of all, it's a farming game. Although it's also got mining and fishing and foraging and the other one, combat. So, bit of an extended cutscene here at the start of the game. Stardew Valley, yes, that's where we're headed. All right. Robin, hello, you must be Dr. Brian. I'm Robin, the local carpenter. Mayor Lewis sent me here to fetch you and to show you the way to your new home. He's there right now, tidying things up for your arrival. Farm's right over here if you follow me. All right, here is the very modest-looking farm. This is Cheat's Farm. What's the matter? Sir, it's a bit overgrown, but there's some good soil underneath that mess. With a little dedication, you'll have it cleaned up in no time. And here we are, your new home. And there's Mayor Lewis. Ah, the new farmer. Welcome, I'm Lewis, Mayor of Pelican Town. You know, everyone's been asking about you. It's not every day someone new moves in. It's quite a big deal. So you're moving into your grandfather's old cottage. It's a good house, very rustic. Rustic? That's one way to put it. Crusty might be a little more apt, though. Rude. Don't listen to her, Dr. Brian. She's just trying to make you dissatisfied so you buy one of her house upgrades. Anyway, you must be tired from the long journey. You should get some rest. Tomorrow you ought to explore the town a bit and introduce yourself. The townspeople will appreciate that. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you have anything to sell, just put it in this box here. I'll come by during the night to collect it. Well, good luck. So this is the shipping bin, and we can drop stuff in there, and it will get sold overnight, and we will get money. And saving. Okay, so it's actually saving my game for the first time. And here is the start of the game, and there's kind of like a brief on-screen tutorial. I'm playing with keyboard and mouse. However, it is the case that in order to enable cheats, you have to manually modify your save file, so I'm going to go do that shortly. But before I do, just kind of big picture, we control our character like this. We've got a hotbar, and we can open up our full inventory, but at the start of the game, our full inventory is only the top row. We can only hold 12 items, which include 5 tools that we're already holding. We've got an axe for cutting down trees, we've got a hoe for tilling the ground, watering can for watering crops, a pickaxe for using in the mines and breaking rocks, and a scythe for breaking weeds and things, and can also like kill some bad guys in a pinch. And it is a game that has 5 major skills that you upgrade by doing them. And so farming, you get experience by harvesting crops. Mining, you get experience by breaking certain rocks. Foraging, you get experience by cutting down trees and picking up stuff you find on the ground. Fishing is pretty obvious. You catch fish. And combat, in the mines, there'll be a bunch of enemies that we can fight eventually. And you want to level up all of these skills. There's also a bunch of people in town to get to know to meet. There's not actually, on a day-to-day basis, like all that much reading to do, but definitely in the first couple of days there'll be a lot, including like in the opening cutscene. Here is an overview. Here is the farm, and here is town, and there's the ocean down here, and there's a forest down here, and there's some other stuff that we'll get to eventually. And then, yeah, there's a crafting menu, and so you can make a chest out of wood, for example, but I'll have to collect some by chopping down trees. We'll eventually get animals, various special items. If we end up going for like perfection, we'll collect everything. And there's a bunch of options, and I am going to fool with some of the options in here as well. So let me fool with some of the options in here, and also, but first go update and like save my game with the cheats enabled, and then we can actually get started playing. I think I have things set up correctly. Let's test it out really quick. If I say debug money 501, you start out with 500 money, but yes, that changes my money to 501. And if I were to say debug item BC 153, yes, that would put an iron lamppost in my inventory. Okay, so that's an example of like the debug cheats or whatever. And I'm just going to put an iron lamppost right over here, and it's not going to give off much light because it's daytime already by the window anyway. So, we start out with stuff. You received 15 parsnip seeds. Here's a little something to get you started, Mayor Lewis. And that shows up in here. Getting started, we have a journal which keeps track of kind of like ongoing quests, which are either quests that just stick around until you complete them, or some of them will be kind of timed quests that you only have a certain number of days to be able to complete. Getting started. If you want to become a farmer, you have to start with the basics. Use your hoe to till the soil, use the seed packet in the tilled soil to grow a crop. Water it every day until the crop is ready for harvest. The quest is to cultivate and harvest a parsnip. Great. Also, introductions. It'd be a nice gesture to introduce yourself to people around town. People are anxious to meet the new farmer. 2 of 28 people greeted. There's a lot of different people in town. I'm not going to be in a rush to greet them all, but we'll eventually get that done. Okay, in terms of... Let me set up my hotbar the way that I like. Alright, I like having my tools in a certain order, and now that's more appropriate. And so yeah, we can use the scythe to clean up weeds and small debris on the farm in order to clear out some space for doing some actual farming. We can use the axe to break these little logs or twigs or whatever they are that are on the ground. So I'll break some of them. And we can use the pickaxe to break some rocks. And yeah, the whole point of all that is basically to clear some space so that we can then actually hoe the ground. I've got 15 parsnip seeds, and I want to get them in the ground and watered. And so that's something we'll do right here at the beginning. And then it's already the case that just as a result of cleaning that up, I've obtained some more items in my inventory. And so you can already see how the inventory space is a huge limitation right at the start. So after I get these seeds watered, we are going to chop down some trees so that we can get some wood, so that we can make ourselves a chest and drop off some things that we don't need to be carrying around all day, so that we actually will have the ability to pick up some other things. You can see the time of day in the upper right going by pretty quickly. And I'm not sure if it's like every 10 seconds, like 10 minutes goes by in game or whatever. But time is always slowing, and it is a rather precious resource. It's also the case that at the start of the game, at the bottom right, you'll see I have an energy bar. And it's taking our precious energy to chop down these trees and collect this wood. And we have a limited amount of energy as well. And so this thing is going to start growing and overtaking the farm if I don't go ahead and get rid of it right now, I think. And let's get rid of one more tree over here. And then I'll have enough wood to make a first chest. And we can drop off some of the things that we don't need to be holding right at the moment to make things a little bit easier. So if I go into the crafting menu, chest, takes 50 wood. I've got 67 of them in my pack currently. So let's put down a chest. There we go. And for walking around right now, I'm done watering my crops for the day. I don't need to be carrying all of this stuff. And I probably don't need to be carrying all of these things either, but some of them will still be useful. So yeah, I think we'll do that for now. We start with 500 money, and one thing we could do is go to Pierre's shop and buy more seeds. I forget if there's other things that we might want to buy on the first day. But yeah, I still have a little bit of energy left, so while I do, I think let's chop down maybe one more tree. Even doing that is taking like all my energy. Yeah, and it just also cluttered up my inventory a bit, so there is a quick stack, add to existing stacks, which basically goes like that. Whenever you're on the inventory screen by default in single player, the time of the game pauses itself. You can see the time kind of blinking over here. And so you can spend as much time thinking about the game whenever it's paused and you're kind of like on your inventory screen, which is nice. But yeah, let's head into town and start exploring the game some. So when we were in the cutscene over here, we might have seen some things just lying on the ground. If you go behind trees, you can kind of see what's behind them, but I just picked up a dandelion, for example. And that's an example of foraging, and here's a reason to have our hoe. There's these little wiggly worms, or magic twigs. Lost book. You found a lost book. The library's collection has expanded. We haven't even gone into the library yet to find out that we're on a quest to get the lost books. And yet I found one already. Huzzah. So this is the main part of town. There goes Gus. There is a calendar of events that you can look at anytime. That's just posted on the wall. And there's also a help wanted board, which most days will have various tasks that you can choose to try to go after. High quality seeds, only at Pierre's. And so if I were to go to Pierre's, here's someone we can introduce ourselves to. It's Abigail. Oh, that's right. I heard there's someone new moving into that old farm. Kind of a shame, really. I always enjoyed exploring those overgrown fields by myself. Alright, and here's Pierre's shop. And he sells more seeds that we can buy. And I would like to buy more. I don't have a lot of money right now to start. Yeah, and so I think I'm going to buy, for right now, could I afford to buy like one of each of the other seeds? I don't need grass starter or some of the other various things he sells down the line. But we're going to want to eventually have a diverse set of crops. Although, do I even have the energy to water them today? My goodness, energy. Well, I could always store the seeds in a chest. So yeah, I'm going to buy, since we already have 15 parsnips, I'm going to buy one of each of the rest of these. And eventually we'll find out some particulars about things that we may or may not want to actually have in the long run. We can also talk to Pierre. It's Dr. Brian, the new farmer. I'm here, owner of the local general store. I'll also buy produce from you, good price. New agriculture will inject something into the local economy. And here is Marnie. Mayor Lewis told me you just arrived. I'm Marnie. I sell livestock and animal care products at my ranch. Swing by sometime. Eventually, once we have a bunch of money, we'll be able to swing by and purchase some things from you. That'll be a while down the road. Okay, already my inventory is very full. And I don't even know that I'll have the energy to plant these things right now. So I'm going to head back home and drop them off. And at the end of the day, we can reevaluate. And dandelion is a forageable, and for now I'm just going to store it in the chest as well. And there's a bunch of things to see in town. It's also the case that there's another way to head out into town or the valley through the south end of the farm. So I want to kind of clear a route to get over there, if I can, before completely running out of energy. And so down here is the Cindersap Forest, I believe it's called. Does it have like the names of places on here? Yes, Cindersap Forest. And so in the forest is a good place to do just some random foraging where you can like pick up random things. Here's a little girl. Her name is Jazz. Hi. And she's jumping rope. So yeah, we're making some introductions along the way. But one of the things you can often find down in the south end of the forest during the springtime. So there's 4 seasons, each of which has 28 days on the calendar. And so we start out on the first day of spring. And the different seasons have different crops that you can grow and different forageables that you can find. And during the spring, there's often spring onions that just grow wildly down in this portion of the world. And so if there are any, we can harvest them and actually eat them to get some more energy, and there are at least a couple of them down here. So those are some handy forageables to start with. There's a cute little woodpecker flying away, and you might notice a door hiding behind a tree over there. Not finding a whole lot of other forageables, but here's someone to talk to. Oh, you're that new farmer boy, aren't you? Haley's too involved with her camera to notice you. Alright. The various people in the town all have their various personalities and idiosyncrasies. There are trash cans in town, and you can forage through them, and occasionally find either trash or sometimes something much better. If the townspeople see you rummaging through the trash, they won't like you for it. With all the townspeople, like, you can eventually like gain their friendship by talking to them and giving them gifts. But friendship can also like go downwards or whatever. Like, you can gain hearts by doing nice things, and you can also like lose hearts. And I think if they see you going through the trash, it's one of the things you can do that causes you to lose hearts with people. But I like going through the trash because I like finding random stuff. This is the mayor's house over here. You can go inside. He's not here right now, and there's like a prize ticket redemption thing in there. But I did get a lost library book, and it just so happens that the library/museum is located on the corner of town over here. So I want to go inside. Doesn't seem like you have anything to donate to the museum. Better get out there and do some treasure hunting, huh? I think possibly because I got the lost book already, there would have been a cutscene the first time I came in here, where Gunther talks about the fact that the museum is empty and the library has lost all of its books or something. But maybe because I already got a lost book, like, we skipped over that. I'm not sure. I thought there was a cutscene related to that. Maybe it's something that still is going to happen later on. I don't remember. This is Clint's place. He's blacksmith. And he can sell you basic ores that you can also just get on your own by mining, and so that's typically the way that I'll get them. And importantly, he can also upgrade your tools, but you need resources, so I could upgrade my axe to a copper axe with 5 pieces of copper and 2,000 money. So that's something we will be doing with our various tools further along in the playthrough. And I should have actually talked to Clint, but I didn't do it, and now it's too late. Alright. Nothing in the trash over there. There's Abigail again. So yeah, over here in the main part of town, there's a few folks who live here. This is Alex. You're the new guy, huh? Cool. I'll see you around. This is Caroline, Pierre's wife. Can I reach her before she gets inside? Yes. You must be Dr. Brian. I'm Caroline. My husband runs a general store, and you've met my daughter, Abigail. She's the pale one with purple hair. Alright, here's the saloon. That's where Gus works. Alright, I said I wasn't going to talk to many people today, but it turns out that I ran out of energy really quickly, and now talking to people is something I can do with very little energy. Hello, and welcome to our little community, dear, says Evelyn. You can call me Granny if you like. And here's Maru and Penny. Aren't you the one who just moved in? I'm Maru. I've been looking forward to meeting you. With a small town like this, a new face can really alter the community dynamic. It's exciting. Hello, I'm Penny. Alright. Here's Mayor Lewis again. How's your first night in the old cottage? Grandpa used to complain about the rickety old bed, but I think deep down he actually loved that house. Here's Elliot, who lives down by the beach. The new farmer we've all been expecting, and whose arrival has sparked many a conversation. I'm Elliot. I live in the cabin by the beach. It's a pleasure to meet you. Speaking of the beach, it is down here. It's also a good place to look for more of those little wiggly worms in the sand and various foraging items eventually. And down here, we tried to go to the fish shop. Gone fishing. I'll be back tomorrow. We won't get a chance to meet Willie just yet. So, it's already the case that it's 5:30 p.m. We've gone through a good portion of the day. I guess I didn't go into the saloon, so we could do that. And we'll actually meet a few more people. Here's Pam. Hey kid, name's Pam. Nothing like the good stuff to warm these old bones. Here's Gus. I'm Gus, chef and owner of the Stardrop Saloon. Can I get you anything? And here's Emily, who works here. I can read it on your face. You're gonna love it here in Pelican Town. If you're ever looking for something to do in the evening, stop by the saloon. That's where I work. And at Gus's, you can buy things that you can eat. And so we could actually like buy some bread and it would give us some energy. 120. That's like most of my remaining money. So yeah, I'm not sure that I'll do that. And there's a bunch of recipes you could buy here, etc. Oh, and here's Shane. I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? Alright. There's a trash can. You know what? Alex is going to see me, but I'm going to go through the trash can anyway. Hey, stop that. Yuck. And I got a Joja Cola, which gives you a walking speed boost and also a little bit of energy if you drink it. And so I'm going to choose to drink it. And walk back to the farm. And then I think I'm also going to eat a couple of spring onions. Let's look at my energy bar. How much do these things actually give me? Eat spring onion? Yes. Oh, they give me a little bit of that. That's not bad. I think I could probably plant more of my plants to get them started. And for reasons, I want things on different sides of the farm. I prefer to put a green bean over on the right. And then, yeah, cauliflower and potato also sound good for the right-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these guys here. And then I'm going to need my watering can again. And then I'll go get the other three to plant on the left-hand side. We've got some flowers and some kale. Oops. Let's get these things all watered. And we've already used up a lot of the water in the watering can, but we can refill it just by going over here, like so. And I see some more wiggle worms here. There is a piece of coal in the ground. Very nice. I'm going to do a little bit more basic farm cleanup. And honestly, like the thing that I would need the most is probably more wood. So let's try to chop down another tree before the end of the day. And I guess after 10 chops, the tree gets chopped down, but it just leaves the stump. So I think I'll just do that for now. And clean out a few more of the weeds, which can also produce mixed seeds. And then I forget, in terms of crafting recipes, I probably don't have any of the interesting ones yet. We're going to have to do a little bit of leveling up before we get them. So let's go ahead and stack this stuff away. Got a piece of coal I can stack away. We found a dandelion and spring onions already, but we ate the spring onions. And you can see how dark it is by default. And so this is where... Did I already, like... Oh, that's right. I left the lamp in my... inside my house. I was trying to figure out what happened to it. But I'm going to give myself a couple of iron lampposts just to kind of brighten the place up. Which I guess is kind of like a minor advantage, that I can like see stuff around better, but I just think it also will make the YouTube playthrough better. So I'm going to put down some iron lampposts to be able to see stuff on the farm a little bit better, even when it's nighttime. And in fact, I think I'll even do one more over here somewhere, because they give off some nice light. Let's put one right there. Great. We have a tiny bit of energy left. I can show what happens if we start running out of energy. You have to either get home by 2 a.m. or before you completely run out of energy. You're starting to feel exhausted. I'll at least be able to topple this street before I'm completely exhausted. If you don't get home before 2 a.m. or you completely run out of energy, you can pass out. And I guess the disadvantage of passing out is you lose some of your money. And if it happens in the mines, you can lose some of your items as well. I probably won't spend much time investigating those possibilities. You can also kind of redecorate your house a little bit. And so, for example, I could move some things around in terms of decoration. And I am going to do that for some practical reasons. The things we'll need to use each day. In fact, let's take a look at the TV. There's a fortune teller who tells you about luck. Each day you have like a luck stat that affects various things or whatever, and so the fortune teller can tell you how your day is going to go. There's living off the land. Chop wood and search for wild forage to earn some cash while waiting on your first harvest. Yep. And there's a weather report which tells you what the weather is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be clear and sunny all day. There can also be the Queen of Sauce who teaches you recipes, and so I'm going to want to watch television every day in the morning when I get up in order to find out about any new recipes that I can learn. But yeah, cozy little farm, and we're basically out of energy, so I'm going to go ahead and sleep for the night for the first day. And the game only saves when you go to sleep for the night. And so one, exploit, whatever you want to call it, that you can take advantage of is if something goes badly during the day, you can always just exit the game and then restart this day and kind of replay it. I don't intend to do that, I don't think, anytime during this playthrough, because I'm not trying that hard. But it is a thing. And before I go to sleep for the night, I just realized I can also light the fireplace, which I think also gives off some more light to kind of warm the inside of the place. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But let's go to sleep for the night. And at the end of the day, it shows you any things that you've shipped in the shipping bin, but I haven't shipped anything today, and the money that you've earned. So there is none of that to show off. And I haven't decided what I want to do about editing this series. I don't think I will do much editing near the beginning, but as we get further in, perhaps I will. It depends on just kind of how repetitive some of the days get, I think. But if you have input about that, feel free to leave a comment to that effect in terms of whether you'd like to see everything, or whether if you mind if I edit out some of the tedium when we get into kind of like, I don't know, the middle of fall and we're just kind of like doing some of the same kind of farming routine every day. There's always a million things to do in this game, and so it's often the case that it never actually gets very repetitive. Which is one of the reasons that I like it. Like, there's a million things to manage and keep track of in your mind of what you want to accomplish, and you can't accomplish all of them in the time allotted. So you have to pick and choose. But in any case, I'm going to think about the editing. I think I'm going to probably have relatively long episodes so that we can get through a few days of gameplay each episode. but especially the first few days, there's a whole bunch of new stuff that happens that makes things go very slowly. And so today's episode is just going to be that first day and my long-winded introduction to how I wanted to play through the game. And I can imagine some of the first few days are also going to go slowly, especially because I think today we can get our fishing rod. Today being day 2 that we just woke up to. And fishing, I'll want to do a lot of fishing right at the beginning because fishing is very important to do early on. So, yeah, there's that, and that kind of slows down the day a bit as well, as we will see. In any case, I'm thinking ahead in terms of how I want to do the videos, but yeah, you can offer suggestions for the long term if you want to. But yeah, that's where I'm going to go ahead and call things here for today. I am going to exit to the title and say that I hope, as always, that you all are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more Stardew Valley. For now, bye-bye.